Hey everyone, it's Lisa Mears here, and I'm so excited to be sharing my first card from the Pretty Pink Posh October 2023 Christmas and Winter release. And the card that I'm making today is so much fun. It includes this die set, which is the Holiday Mug Editions die set. And this die set, it corresponds with the winter mug that was released last year. So you can actually use the holiday mug editions on the left with the winter mug on the right to decorate that winter mug into a reindeer, Santa Claus, and there's so many other dies that are included. So what I'm doing here is just pulling out all of the dies that are included in the winter mug set. And many of you might already have this die set because, as I said, it was released last year. But you'll use the mug from this die set to go along with the holiday mug editions. The winter mug die set also has some dies that you can use this holiday. They have some candy canes and a snowflake. But when you pair it with the holiday mug editions, these are the possibilities that you can get. So up at the top left, you'll see that you can make a mug with a Santa belt, and there are some Christmas trees there in the mug. You can also make a mug that looks like a Santa Claus. So you've got the beard and the mustache with the Santa hat. You can also make a mug that looks like a reindeer, which is what I'm going to do today, and that's there in the lower left-hand corner. And you can also make a mug that has some Christmas greenery as well as a tag. So that little tag is also included in the set, and the word joy is included as well. And really quick, here's a card that I made last year when the winter mug was released. So you can see the winter mug has some marshmallows in there with the holly candy cane as well as the snowflake on the front. And I'll put the link to the video where I created this card down in the description box below and at the top right corner of this video in case you're interested in checking that one out too. For my card, I'm also going to be using the Layered Candy Canes stencil. This is a brand new stencil. It's a 2-layer stencil that will make you some colorful candy canes on your card layers. And then I'm also going to be using the Eyelet rectangles, and I'm going to be using the largest die in this set. This die has a scalloped edge with holes inside each scallop, and it also has some stitching around it. So here I'm going to be using this largest die, and I die cut it out of some red cardstock. I'm just holding this up close so you can see the stitching on the inside. There are a total of 4 dies in this set, and again, I'm going to be using the largest one. So these are the new products that I'll be using on my card today. I will have them linked down in the description box of this YouTube video, and if you're interested in seeing all of the products, please take a look at my unboxing video that I recently posted where I show all of the products in this release. And I will have that unboxing video linked at the top right hand corner of this video as well as in the description box. And one more thing before I go ahead and make this card, I want to let you know that this card is part of a Pretty Pink Posh blog hop where you have an opportunity to win a gift certificate to the Pretty Pink Posh store, and I'll have more information on my blog about the blog hop. So here I'm starting out stenciling my background using the Layered Candy Cane stencil, and I cut my panel to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. This stencil has 2 layers, so I'm using layer A right now. And layer A is the shape of the candy canes, and I'm using the Distress Oxide Salvaged Patina ink. So I wanted to have a teal and red candy cane, so those are the colors that I'm going with. And for the red color, I'll be using the Candied Apple. So after I finished with the layer A stencil, I just removed it and lined up layer B, and I'm going to go ahead and ink up the stripes on the candy cane with the Candied Apple Distress Oxide ink. So I do end up cutting that background down to 3 3/8 by 4 1/2 because I wanted it to fit inside of the stitched rectangle lines on this eyelet rectangle die. So I just measured with my ruler to see what size that would be, and again it's 3 3/8 by 4 1/2. So I'll set that aside and I'll work on my mug. I went ahead and die cut the actual mug shape from the Winter Mug die set out of brown cardstock. I'm going to be doing a lot of inking because I love the way that ink looks when it's added to die cuts. It just adds a lot of depth and dimension to the die cuts. So here I'm just using some scrapbook.com inks to do my inking. I die cut and inked up the mug. I also have the brown cardstock for the ears of the deer, and then I also have the liquid for the coffee, or if you wanted it to be tea, I have that cut out of a lighter brown cardstock. So that's that one. Okay, so next I die cut some leaves out of some teal cardstock, and again I'll ink those up as well. So the holly leaves are from the Winter Mug set, and then the pine leaves are from the Holiday Mug Editions set. So I'm just showing you the dies that I've used here. I also die cut the bow out of some red cardstock, and I'll go ahead and ink that up. You can use this bow on your mug. You can give your little deer a bow if you wanted to, or you can use that bow for the tag, which is what I'm doing. I just added a bow to the tag, and you'll see that here coming up. So now I'm just going to glue that little dot in the middle of that bow. And then I'll set that aside. And I'll go ahead and glue my liquid to my coffee mug. For the antlers, I'm actually using some glitter cardstock. I thought it would be neat to have a little bit of glitter thrown in there. Here I'm just putting the ears together. There's a little tiny piece that goes on top of the ears. So I went ahead and glued that tiny piece onto the ear, and then I'm going to glue that onto the mug, one on each side. And then the die that's laying there on the table, that's the die that I used for the deer pieces that's included in the Holiday Mug Edition set. Now there are also some eyes I die cut out of some black cardstock. There's a nose, and there's also a mouth. So I'm just gluing all of those here onto my mug. I'm also going to include the candy cane from the Winter Mug die set. So I die cut the solid piece out of some teal cardstock, and I die cut the layering pieces out of red, and I'm just gluing those red pieces onto my candy cane. Next, I'm going to add the antlers, one on each side, making sure that I leave enough room in between to stick the candy cane in the mug. So the candy cane will go inside the mug. You can see that there is a little opening in the mug for the candy cane to slip into, and I'm also going to attach the bow to the candy cane. So now I'm going to put the peppermint pieces together. The peppermint pieces come with a solid circle and then the layering piece. So I just need to attach the layering piece to the solid circle, which I die cut out of the red cardstock, and then the solid circle was out of white cardstock. I die cut the tag out of pink cardstock and just adding some pink ink around the edges, and I'm going to put the word joy on the tag, and the word joy I die cut out of some gold glitter cardstock. It's the same glitter cardstock that I used for the antlers. So I'll go ahead and add the word joy, and I'll also get the little dot for the J and add that to the tag. So now I'm ready to finish up putting this card together. I'm going to go ahead and put my mug in the center of the card. I also have some of the leaves that I'm going to include. And I was trying to determine if I wanted to put a piece of vellum on top of the candy cane stenciled background just to soften it up a little bit. Since my goal is to have the mug be the focal point of my card, I wanted to make sure that you can see all of the little details on the mug. And I think by not putting that vellum, it just made it a little bit hard to decipher what was the mug and what was the background because the background was so bold. So using the vellum, it just helped soften that background up a little bit so that you can actually see that that mug is the focal point. So I did cut that piece of vellum down to the same size that I had cut the candy cane stenciled background to, which is 3 3/8 by 4.5. And I'm going to go ahead and add the mug to the vellum. I have not adhered the vellum to the card yet. I'm going to adhere the mug to the vellum first, and then once I have the mug down and all of these little die cut pieces, then I'll go ahead and attach the vellum. You have to be careful when you're attaching vellum to your card because depending on where you put your adhesive, you don't want it to show through the vellum. So my goal is to have all of my die cuts on to the vellum first, and then I'll be able to put the adhesive behind the die cuts, which would be on the back of the vellum but behind the die cuts, and you'll see here in just a moment what I'm talking about. So I go ahead and add the holly leaves to my tag, and I was just trying to determine which side I wanted to put that tag. I'm going to go ahead and put it at the bottom right hand corner of my mug. And then I'm also going to add the little dot for the berry on those leaves. And I'm going to also include the 2 peppermints that I die cut and put together. So just trying to figure out where I wanted those to be. I'm going to put them at the bottom left hand corner just to balance everything out. So I'll add one and then I'll add the other, just layering those 2 together. And now I'll turn the vellum over, and you can see that I'm just putting glue behind where the die cut pieces are. You don't want to put any glue where there's no die cuts because that glue will show through that vellum. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that to my card front. And then I'll go ahead and add that card layer to an A2 size white card base. So you can see that large eyelet rectangle. You can see how it fits on that A2 size card base. It does leave a little bit of white around the edges, so you can see some of the card base on the edges. So that will complete my card today, and if you're interested in any of the products I used, please check the links in the description box below, and be sure to follow along on the blog hop for your chance to win a gift certificate to the Pretty Pink Posh store. You'll find my coordinating blog post link in the description box as well. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up. And if you like videos like this, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.